because I don't want no interruptions. This I have to, give Hunter my undivided attention.
Hey, we need that today. We need that today. We need that. Too much foolishness going on. There's way too much foolishness going on out here, man.
Hey man,
Way too much, man.
I'm gonna go on verse. Did that nigga did it? I'm gonna go on Grayson. That nigga spelled verses wrong.
Where?
I feel like the
It's
nigga,
easy to
I
do
feel
though.
hey, yeah, what the fuck is that? Four
Definitely easy to
Loco?
spell verses wrong. Definitely.
Dog, you drinking a Four Loco, son?
Raging bitch.
Oh, all right.
No.
We got a Four Locos, man.
Versus blind dog, tropical bitch. Don't do me like that. Don't do me with the Four Loco. First of all, if you ever drunk a Four Loco, you wild.
Hey, now, if you ever drunk a Four Loco, you don't care about life, man.
Okay, Four Loco was like K2 in the 24-ounce.
Facts. Like many bodies have been claimed off of Four Loco, man.
Many.
Hey, with that said, hey, we're back. It's the
Let's
OT
go.
show. I'm your host E. Look, so today we had a huge debate for the past couple of days. It was sparked by my man Cool Hunter. So we talking about the verses. We're gonna do a recap of the verses, right? The Lox versus Dipset. And so this conversation got started because my man Cool Hunter here had the audacity to think that the Dipset won the verses. So
they didn't lose the verses.
With that said, we have our special guest today and our cast is Cool Hunter, Kanika Tover. With that said, yeah. So first, we're gonna go with you, Kanika. What did you think of the verses overall?
Overall, I think the way that they set up the stage and the way that they created, like, they had kind of like a boxing match type thing. I like the way that it brought the culture of hip hop back to its like original essence. Like, I don't think there's been a versus that has had, of course with the pandemic, has had a live crowd that has really brought like everybody was doing them celebration verses, and we really wanted to see a versus that was like a true battle where it's still like they were celebrating each other, but they really was also like saying that, I'm coming here to battle. Like, and I think that that's what we missed from other verses, that everybody was like, man, I'm gonna celebrate you. And really at the end of the day, like in hip hop, it's not about celebrating, it's about competition. So I think that the Lox and Dipset really brought that ruggedness back to like hip hop that we grew up on, and it just felt really good to see like New York be able to celebrate two amazing groups. But overall, I think that of course the Lox won. But I think overall, I think it was one of the best verses that they've had in a long time.
Fact. So, Hunter, what was your take on the verses, man? What's your overall though?
It was great. I think it was great. I think, well, first of all, like Kanika said, like versus really hasn't had the hip hop vibes.
Yeah.
Because of the pandemic there, so to have the crowd in New York, it just changed the whole vibe of the verses. Technically, like this is the first verses that wasn't a versus. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like none of the versus rules applied here. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
So it was beautiful. You know what I'm saying? It was beautiful. Like this is the best one, I think.
Nah, I by far I think it probably was the best one. And then also, like I said, the crowd aspect and the way they set it up. That shit was like a smack battle, bro.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. It was really more like smack more than a versus.
Yeah. That shit was like some old school smack shit, man. Like everybody had their crew on one side and shit, and then you had like Dipset fans on the other side and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And bro, like I was in this joint hyped though. Like when they brought out Michael Buffer, nigga, I was nigga, that shit was like a heavyweight fight, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what made it.
They brought Mike out.
No, they had when I saw Mike Buffett doing the intro, man, that shit, bro. I was like, oh, nigga, I had to take like 2 extra shots, nigga. Like I was in this joint going crazy, bro.
Like that's how you knew that they changed. It was they were setting up something totally different when they brought Michael
Yeah.
Buffer out.
Oh
Yeah.
man, yeah, it was different. And I have to give props to Styles P and fucking Jim Jones, man. Them two niggas on Instagram, bro, promoting that drink was epic.
Yeah. I didn't really love see
Nobody promotes like Jim.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was you gonna say, Kanika?
Oh no, I was gonna say I agree. I think that they had like really real promotion. Like it was like no commercialized. Like the other verses, you could tell that they had thought about how they was going to film their marketing, how they was going to film their commercials. It was like very formalized. I just like the way they organically just said, we're going to get on video. We're going to talk our shit. We're going to say what we're going to say about, each crew. And then we're going to come to the stage. But it still was all love. Like, even though I saw that footage of Cameron, kicking Styles P, I really didn't understand what was going on. I mean, it looked like he was about to get serious for a second. When Styles P kind of like was like, whoa, like what happened? But I think overall, I like the fact that they kept it no violence, no true beefing, even the crews were kind of like in their separate. I think Dipset could have did a little better with controlling their entourage. I think that was a little OC, but I mean, I guess that's Dipset,
I mean, but nah, one of my things from that though was I think Sheik set it off. He set the tone for it. When he said, "Man, look at these pussy ass niggas, bro."
How you start like that? How you start like that? Hold on, let me say this. This is where they were genius at. They added some WWE wrestling elements to this.
Yeah.
The way it was like smacking wrestling to where like this wasn't a verse.
Yeah.
But they was talking shit each other out there. You know what I'm saying? Like pulling no punches, no cut cards. Like, so that part about it, like they was playing rough. They was, you know what I'm saying? Like that made it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jada was, and I will say this, man, I think Jada and the Lox was strategic with the way they fucking battled it in this joint, man.
Thank you.
They was strategic, man. I think, and I think that's what hurt Dipset. With that said, so Hunter, why do you think Dipset won?
Please give him the floor. Let him give his decision.
So here's what I think. It's real simple. They got better music. First of all, they have better music, right? And you kind of just led into my overall objective point, right? Because I'm a fan of both. I know I appear more like a Dipset fan. I just think Dipset has a better catalog compared to the Lox. When you're looking at crews, it's a bunch of crews you can compare where you can be like, they might have a better matchup with the Lox or Dipset. You think of like State Prop or G Unit or something like that, just for example, right? So I don't think that there was anything the Lox could do on stage in the show, period, Dipset's catalog compared to theirs. The set just got better music. Now, when you add the elements of showmanship and the performance, I'm not taking none of that away from the Lox. I'm not gonna knock the set too much for it either, though. They not coming up there and they not rapping without the words. They high. You know they high. You know they don't remember all that shit. You can't rap some of them verses that Cam and Santana got. I think Santana relapsed, but I hope he didn't, because he looked like he was sky high out there.
Yeah. At one moment, did you kind of see he was wobbling a little bit on stage? He was kind of like, I don't know. I think he has relapsed.
It's like he's real slow at the beginning. Yeah, it was. Yeah. I hope he didn't. I don't want to put no bad vibes out there, but I really think the set. Here's what I'm gonna say, right? I'm gonna say the set didn't lose. Like, I think the competition of it is really more into the greatness of the marketing, the promo for the tour that they got coming. They've created the vibes like it's a real battle. So people are picking sides and they're making decisions. Like the Lox won that drum. Like, I mean, you can say they won based on their stage performance and how they performed. Sheik is one of the weakest links in rap group history. Period. You can't have a member that doesn't have the Bama rap 5 verses in 2 hours. That's ridiculous.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna let you have that one. Okay. Kanika. You're clearly on the side of the Lox. So
man.
explain to this man, why do you think the Lox won?
I think it really wasn't about hits. It was about skills that night. I really think it wasn't about hits. And I even watched Tyler Creator and his observation of it. And he has amazing outstanding points.
He had a great take on that joint.
And my take is exactly his take, is that it just showed that the Lox cared more. They cared about the sportsmanship. They cared about the audience. They cared about even their DJ was like that. The DJ
killed them.
Way more like that than Dipset DJ.
That's facts. You can't argue that.
DJ should have said, you shouldn't even come on here if you're not going to do your instrumentals. That's what a real DJ do, because whoever the DJ was for the Lox, he was very punctual. He was very accurate. He was very in tune to what the songs were going to be played. He even, when they say like, hold on, let me talk. He listened to Jadakiss when Jadakiss was about to talk. I think that even I listened to, I think they said Diddy told them, don't do the mixtape hits. That's your origin. That's y'all shit. That's y'all stuff. Do that. He actually encouraged them to do that instead of doing a lot of the commercial or the bad boy hits or whatever. So I think that they came to play and they came to win. And I think if you go back and look at Tyler Creator's comments, he hit it head on. This is a youngin' that never grew up listening to the Lox, who understood the assignment.
Yeah.
He don't know the music though.
But nah, man, my thing is too with that. I also think, like you said, we're talking about the versus battle. When you want to say just the verses, we're not talking about catalog. Because prime example, it happened with Jada and Fab. Fab got shit.
We not
like young Fab got some shit for your ass, and he got hits too. Yeah. But what happened with Jada was it was the way it was his song placement. Lox song placement fucked him up too, and the song placements, and then it was their performance. So I think overall that's why the Lox won. Like we can't like catalog for catalog. Fuck it, Dipset got that shit. I'm a Dipset fan.
Me too.
And then when you go to individuals, shit, Jewel's got shit, Jim got shit. Jim still killing shit, matter of fact. And then Cam got shit. Cam got shit by itself. Mm-hmm. So I mean, when you go overall catalog, yeah, Dipset got it. But for that one night, that performance, the Lox won that shit, bro. And I mean, you can say they had the songs, but bro, from that performance, nigga, Cam got booed at the end, bro.
It's New York. It's New York. They do their own. How is that?
That's how you know you lost the crowd, my nigga.
No, that's how you know the crowd is. That's Cam's hometown. They know they love
Cam. Got booed. Because they was mad because they was losing. They was down by 30.
It ain't his hometown no more. He live in Miami. What you talking about?
He anything.
He live in Miami.
That's because people know him in Miami. Don't nobody know Sheek Luch in Miami.
The great thing about New York audience, probably beyond any audience in the US, is they're always going to be genuinely real about who came to perform.
Stay right there. Stay right there.
Yeah. I'm right. I'm listening. Go ahead.
No, I think that's the interesting part about a New York crowd and what they value, though. Like they value underground bars, like this the mecca of hip hop. With their like how they measure what's better or worse is different than the rest of the country. And this wasn't all about New York, though. Just because it happened in New York with two New York crews, we talking about it, and we not from New York. I'm not using no New York metrics to give my opinion on what happened that night.
I don't think globally, for those viewers that watch,
I don't care. It's style.
That way. I don't think globally, all the hundreds of thousands of people that viewed it, when I was in the chat looking at the Versuz chat, I think globally everyone's favored the Lox based upon skill set. And I think our generation of people that appreciated that particular live stream were the ones that made a decision that it was about skills and it was about bars. I really think that going back to Jadakiss and Fabulous, I want to touch on that real quick. Jadakiss learned something very valuable in that battle. He was drunk at the Fabulous battle.
Oh yeah, he was fried.
He was fried.
Let's stay right here. He
was not drunk. You could tell he was not drunk at the Versuz battle with Dipset. And I appreciate that because he celebrated after. Them Bama's celebrated as they came on stage or even before they got on stage.
Yeah.
Right. True Dipset fashion. True Dipset
had his sunglasses on. Nobody in the Lox had their sunglasses on.
Right. Hey, now look. Hey, look. I knew it was real when Jada came with the Timbs on, son. I was like, oh, this nigga's not playing. He came with the Timbs. I was like, this nigga it wasn't no flashy shit. This nigga came with the Timbs, some black church socks, nigga. Like, this nigga was ready, son.
I think if we think about DC, being from DC, I guarantee you that people would love Dipset more than the Lox if they came to perform in DC.
Hands down.
Hands down. Because of the origin of the culture in DC. See, Bama's from Northeast or from Uptown or from wherever. They
flashy niggas, bro.
People idolize the Dipset's brand. Okay. Yeah. They idolize that hustler, that old head and think he's still 25 and he 40 or he 45, who still want to dress young, who still want to act whatever. But in New York, they don't care about that. They didn't care about that. They cared about skills. But if they would have came to DC, my sister, everybody loved Dipset from DC because
I mean, shout out to Cam. I'm wearing pink, son. It is what it
is. like hold on. Cam is a legend for that from a standpoint. But I want to post something to y'all real quick. Talking about the Lox, right? From a fan standpoint. Because when we talk about talent and skill, you can see how even within the collective of the Lox, where Jada and Styles are at individually and together. Like Jada and Styles can put an album out, and it will probably be one of the hottest things ever.
Yeah.
How does Sheik keep getting passes for not being on the equal level of talent when it comes to music and a situation?
But see,
like this. Saying Towns play the songs, Cam play the songs. Cuz ain't have music. How do you win when your third wheel has no music when everybody's playing their music?
But see, that goes to their point of the Lox are really a group, yeah. Unlike the Dipset's not really a group, to be honest, bro. They're like individual talents, man. Right. It's like a gang. They're really a gang. They're not really a group, to be honest, bro.
Right. But see, these are things we know coming into us. So like if I was going to compare crews, I wouldn't have picked them because of that. Because it's a collective of solo artists and the actual group. But again, even with that being, the Lox was playing like Jada literally said, I'm carrying my crew. I'm playing all of my features, all of my best verses going against Dipset stuff. So when you're talking about group for group, how does the Lox get away with just riding Jada's coattails in a group battle setting?
I don't think Styles P really rides his crow. I think he's just as
Styles don't, but he still Styles doesn't. But all his music is underground. He has a bunch of music he could have played.
Yeah, but with that said, they knew where their strongest point was. Their strongest point is Jada. And to be honest, and to be honest with Dipset, their strongest joint is Cam.
And to me, that's a problem.
They didn't utilize Cam. They didn't utilize Cam's.
Yeah, Cam had to get off that goddamn chair. He was bullshitting that chair for a little bit. His ass had to get up like song 2 and shit. He's like, oh shit, these niggas not playing. He had to come touch some niggas though, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that was his best performance.
Nah.
No.
It was because when I went back and watched a little bit of his performance yesterday, I felt like the clarity of his voice was a lot worse than Jadakiss. Like I really couldn't and it may have been because the music was playing, the lyrics was playing over top of him, but it felt like the audio, the way he was even holding the mic or the way that the audio was coming through, I could clearly hear word from Jada.
That goes to performance. I mean, dog, like they just hands down, they just outperformed them, bro. Mm-hmm. And I mean, and like you said, it goes back to like you said before, like granted, Dipset got the catalog, but performance wise, for that night, it was hands down a Lox, bro. And now then, bro, because of that performance. Shout out to
I'm not
Kanye.
arguing that.
Them niggas made the Kanye album, yeah. The Lox is on the Kanye joint, bro.
Exactly.
That's crazy, young.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I think they left the Madison Square Garden and got on a jet, and then they went to Atlanta to go meet Kanye. And that says a lot. And I think it's all about timing in your career. And I'm gonna use Nas as an example. Nas has some really amazing, in the beginning of his career, he has some amazing iconic albums. In the middle of his career, he has some albums that was kind of some mediocre, right? But you know where the Lox really failed, they kind of failed, is with aligning with the right production team. Now that Nas got Hit Boy, he's going to
come on, Kanika, let's talk.
His old catalog that was some mediocre, like Nostradamus. So the Dipset had the best production.
The Heatmakers, oh my God, bro.
The Dipsets had the best production. And that's why you're right, Hunter, about that their catalogs are not good. And it doesn't mean they're not lyrically talented, but production means everything in this industry.
Nah, that's a fact. I mean, and then it goes back. If you go back and listen to Jim Jones, not the last album, the album before that, the El Capo joint, he went back and got the Heatmakers. That shit is crazy.
Excuse me.
That was one of the best albums of 2019.
Slim, that's like for over the past 3 years, it's still one of the best albums out right now.
Yeah, I still listen to that joint to this day, bro.
And he made a deluxe version, which is basically a whole nother album.
Yes.
All Heatmakers.
Yeah, I ain't never seen a nigga do a deluxe joint with like 10 new songs though.
I think
so it's like, but I think that's the great part.
Go ahead.
No, I think that's the great part about their crews. Their strengths are different. So this is definitely a styles makes fight matchup. Like if you're into what the Lox does well, it's easy to favor them. If you're into what Dipset does well, it's easy to favor them. Like when I went back, I'll give you an example. When I went back and watched it, when Jim had the jeweler bring out the chain, that's the El Capo logo from the album cover. Like that's the reason why they're different. Like they do shit like that level of stunting. You had the jeweler come put the chain. Like I think that kind of it doesn't balance out with him walking off the stage.
Nah, you mean falling off the stage.
I'm glad that he's laughing about that now because nobody's letting that go. Like you really you got to take the mean dark pair of shades off, Slim, when you inside, man.
Yeah, man. And look, but that goes back to the day that the Dipset was too cool for school, man.
Yeah,
they was too cool, bro. Like I get it. When the first thing I said when they came out,
that's what
I said, man, them niggas is saucy, and the drip was on point. I ain't gonna hold you, the drip was there. But it was like it's like
it's
their brand though.
That's the brand, but it's like a girl that look good, but there's no substance in between, dog. Like what are you doing out here? Yeah.
I don't know if I would go that far because they do got some talented songs. You know what I'm saying? They got some talented songs that do got some level of substance, but the substance wasn't on stage that night.
It wasn't there. It wasn't there that night though. And I think they thought they was gonna swag them niggas out. They're like, we flashy, we just gonna style on them niggas, and it's a cakewalk because we got the catalog. And they were cocky with it.
But you know,
and that shit backfired.
Never their look. The Lox was never into being drip down. Like they always did that, Yonkers, DMX type vibe. Like they was really about, and I think it's also we need to talk about them being from Yonkers versus Harlem. That's a whole nother culture. It's like you being from Uptown versus you being from Southeast. You know what I mean? You gonna have a whole different swag, right?
Nah, that's true.
You can't even say that because their swag is not to wear Fendi or Gucci or to wear some shit that Santana had on. That basically you can't discredit them because of what they got on.
Right.
Hold on. I gotta say something real quick.
That outfit Santana had on was whack to me. I mean,
hold on. No, this is a point for Dipset. Your man had on a do-rag, a fitted, and a bandana. That's legendary. legendary. Anybody in the hood with a do-rag, a fitted, and a bandana on it. He can do that because that's the level of trendsetting Dipset is on. That is Guinness Book of World Record. Like, this is the first nigga with all three on. Are you serious?
Hey,
Your man revolutionized a bandana more than the game. Who does
that's a
that?
fact.
That's a legend. Sheik Luch would never do anything like that in the culture. He doesn't have that impact, man.
Hey, now, but look. First of all,
so Freaky Z got that type of level of impact.
First of all, hey,
Freaky look washed up.
Freaky Z is the greatest hype man ever, though. I will give that nigga dog. He's the best hype man ever, bro. Like, I don't even know why this nigga had a mic, to be honest. Yeah, like it was no reason for this nigga to have a mic. Yeah,
but that's what I was telling Kanika.
Flavor Flav. They was
right
acting like Flavor Flav up here.
Pretty much.
But you got to give him credit. Like, that shows how much of a role he carved. Like, he really has an impact. Like, he has a role on the team. Hey, Steve Kerr got a ring. BJ Armstrong got a ring.
Get the best team player award because they play their role. I mean, Sheik is a team player, hands down. He's a team player. He ain't tripping off Jada.
But look,
but
I will say this, yeah, with Sheik though, she can knock your ass out though. So he.
That's it. Freaky Zeke is a hype man. Sheik is like the group security within the group.
That's exactly why they have 10,000 Bammers up there on the stage with them because they didn't need it.
No, he called himself the Silverback Gorilla, nigga. For a reason.
Light-eyed. I talk all this shit about Sheik Luch on here. When I see Sheik in the street, hey, what's up, big dog?
Yeah.
What's up, OG?
Hey, look, that's an instant dap up, nigga. We not doing no games with the nigga Sheik, bro.
And you gotta give me my hand back too. You hold on to my shit too long, I'm gonna snatch my shit back and get ready. You know what I'm saying? Nah, too big.
Hey, so what do you think was what do you think they can improve on the verses? I start with you, Hannah.
On that particular one, or versus overall?
Overall, when it comes to the rules, when it comes to like, pretty much like the rules and like everything with that. So, what do you think they can improve on?
I think that they do. I think in essence, on a very, very minimal level, they need to have the mindset of thinking to improve. First of all, because the Lox and Dipset just changed the whole versus format. That's not how versus was set up. That's why I was saying. And it's hard to say who won or lost because when you talk about the versus format, you playing your best joints basically, and you're not really factoring. The crowd doesn't sway people. It hasn't anyway because it couldn't because there were no crowds. So I think we have to factor in things differently, whether it's the matchup, even the city where you do it in. Like if you did the Dipset versus Lox battle in DC or Atlanta or Miami, it would have been different.
Yeah.
I don't think in DC, Atlanta, or Miami or Houston, nobody wouldn't have cared if Cam didn't rap the words or Jim didn't rap the words. Drip would have won and the music would have won. That's all it would have mattered. To me, I think that's where they.
But see, that's what happened that's what helped though, because Jada he pointed that shit out, and I think he was genius for pointing it out though, and he you know what it is? He controlled the narrative. And that was the point, though. That's what helped him win the battle too. He controlled the narrative, and he was strategic. Like everything was strategic, bro.
Like the Lox,
that's what hurt him.
They did.
Yeah, they did. They had a game plan.
They went they planned for this like it was like a football game. Like they were going into week 1 with 6 weeks of preparation. Like we're gonna run this play, this song, that way. They wasn't playing. The set just showed up. I got my outfit on with the flow.
Hey, bro, they had counters. They had a counter. Right. They had counter for everything they did, though.
Like, and even the way, like, Jada's energy, like, I could tell, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, you rarely see him, like, he was up the whole time.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, he was on one.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this, I'm like, yo, like, are y'all good for real? Like, are y'all? And then I started, I'm peeping how they selling the tour. They created this vibe of a real battle. So it was great in that regard. That's why I say, to me, win and loss, It's hard to say, man. I mean, you can say that I'm not taking that the Lox did not outperform them. They outperformed them by far. But when you factor in all the different criteria, I think from a versus standpoint, whoever has better music generally wins, right?
Not necessarily, because we talk about for that one night, that night between them, bro.
Yeah,
that night.
Yeah, and that's where it's different. I'll give you that. It's totally different. Like that seemed like something like smack, or it didn't seem like a versus. So I think that versus should really look into doing their hip hop battle, or like their hip hop matchups differently. Like the Isley Brothers and the Whispers ain't gonna give you that energy, even if they had the crowd there. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna put the hip hop element in, and you're gonna factor it in hometowns and cities, stuff like that. Like for example, imagine if Gucci and Jeezy did they joint in Atlanta with a crowd there.
Oh, nigga, somebody would have died.
Somebody would have died that night. That's the only battle that I think is better than the Lox versus Dipset, because their battle, like think about, I'm gonna be honest with you. And this is what I was doing yesterday when I was tagging y'all and trying to be a great promoter in my own right. You can see how much music. Thank you, sir. You can see how much Dipset and Lox worked over the years. I was going back into the catalogs and hearing the X and on the hook with Cam was really good. Like I'm hearing all of it. I'm like, they not beefing. It's no real battle. They selling something. Gucci versus Jeezy. If they would have had the crowd in that joint, that would have been totally different. So I think that's where versus can kind of put good matchups together. And if you pick the right city, it's gonna be something.
Nah, so Kanika, what do you think that they can improve on with the verses?
I would love to see them poll the audience, doing a use of technology, polling, and really getting the audience perspective on what they want to see. Instead of just asking us in the chat, but maybe like, having a feature through Instagram or Twitter or Facebook where they can get analytics and data to really see what the audience want to see. Sometimes we feel like these matchups they're not always the greatest matchup. Sometimes like, why are they having this one? Like some of them ones they could have just not even had, in my opinion, some of the past ones. But I think,
no disrespect. One of them was fucking Trina and Eve. We didn't need the Trina and Eve drink, bro.
I actually appreciated that. I actually appreciated it. But I guess because I'm more of a fan of Eve than I am of Trina. I respect Eve's lyrical ability and her stage presence and her. I like Trina too. Back in the day, I was a huge Trina fan. The first Trina album was like one of my favorite albums, hands down. But I think we need to.
Trina's fine wine too, though.
Yeah, and I think they both have aged very well. I think
Trina got that ass. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Good Lord.
I think
that's what Trina had. And then you don't know their verse.
I would love to see them do more newer artist verses. Instead of focusing on artists where it's just like, oh, they iconic groups like the Lox and like Dipset. I would love them see the Baby and Lil Baby or some shit like that, right? You know what I mean?
Well, the Baby right now, he's on ice right now. He's chilling right now.
Did a woman just say the Baby?
The Baby on ice right now.
I want to use that as an example because T-Pain kept saying we got enough
Take it back.
Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's the cancel culture, so I ain't even gonna talk about that. You know what I mean? I feel about that, but I feel like your opinion is your opinion. And I just kind of feel like people may be taking it a little bit too far, but I definitely am a supporter of the LGBTQ community. I don't want to get it twisted that I don't support. I just think that now every little thing you say just gets.
Oh yeah, nah. And with the funny thing with the Baby, just to touch on that situation real quick, it was funny because he tried to double down on it, and bro, and then he came out with the PR apology at the end. It was like, bro, all you had to just say was my bad, I fucked up. That was it, nigga. I fucked up. I'm sorry, I fucked up. But he went into the whole spill, where social media, they don't let you live. And they're like, nah, nigga, just say you fucked up and keep moving, bro. That's it. You don't
Because
got
it
to give
was
me
so
all this extra shit.
disingenuine. He didn't
Yeah,
mean
it was ingenuine, though. It wasn't even a real apology for real.
Yeah. And I think after that, the PR damage wasn't going to be able to recover that. And you got to realize in this dispensation and time that we live in, that other community, the LGBT community, the more powerful communities right now in this world. And
Because you know what it is too. Because it's no color to that. It's no color to it.
There's no color to it. And then you got to realize that the brands that you actually have endorsements with and business deals with, they are in alignment with them.
Right.
The government is in alignment. If the government is in alignment with them, and these big corporations like Nike, all these big companies, and you constantly like doing business with them, you got to be mindful of that. And at the end of the day, I don't really see sexuality. I see green. I'm just trying to get my check. At the end of the day, and I think your opinion of how you feel about religion and sexuality, you can still own that opinion, but you don't got to voice it in that type of appearance when there's people in the audience who actually support your music and
right.
they are part of that community.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, to be honest, man, we don't care as consumers, dog. Like people don't really care. Like you voice your opinion on certain stuff, we don't care, bro.
Like, we didn't even ask. We weren't even there.
We didn't ask you for it. We don't care, bro.
This wasn't even about that, So
what's interesting? I think the baby, right? I think he kind of missed the fact that like the people he was talking about could have been his fans too. Like I think he was just super high. Again, this goes back to what we talk about with the Lox and Dipset. Rappers are often inebriated when they're on stage. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? The baby was talking about, man, you ain't sucking no nigga in the car tonight, but you're like, cuz, where did you get that from? Like, you have to be high to even say something like that.
But let's talk about that a little bit further. And
first of all, second of all, because we're not going to digress too much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't want to diverse too much, but I was just saying in this hip hop culture right now, when we was growing up, a lot of that wasn't acceptable.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The sexuality aspect of hip hop, there were probably people that were in that community, but when we grew up in the 90s and the hip hop, like if you even looked that way and you was a rapper or you even got caught up with somebody, it was kind of like they canceled DJs for having sex, transgender, so now it's like we have to get to a point where we
Mr.
say,
C.
This is where we are in this community, and we can't even if you believe those old ways of thinking, that the world has evolved in a new way.
Yeah, I don't think it was more so hip hop culture too. I mean, just because it was overall in culture. Like that was like mainstream back in the day. Like nobody was really like that.
Hip hop always get the bad rap.
Yeah. That was some undercover stuff. It was like a hidden gem. Like we ain't really, and we know it's there, but we not really like, all right, man. We not really going to touch on that. But that was just the culture in general.
But I think we crucified it even more as Black people in the hood.
I mean, yeah. We still we getting better. We getting better, but
let's say this though. Let's say this, right? Since we're talking about it, what's interesting about cancel culture, right? When you talk about the LGBTQ, here's where where the black fist comes back up for me. You know what I'm saying? Like the same people that run everything run the LGBTQ, white men and women. So when we gonna cancel systemic oppression and white supremacy? That's what I want to know. Like you can pick and choose when you want to cancel this person, that person, but you don't want to cancel the system that has been oppressing us for hundreds of centuries. You know what I'm saying? Like I say hundreds of centuries.
I mean,
it feels like that, right?
I mean, it feels like it. It feels like an eternity. I don't know. Yeah,
it's like eons, right? So again, it's interesting when we can deflect and digress into the baby's comments, right? Things of that nature, but like so police brutality. It's interesting how we subjectively tie into these narratives that feel good, but you technically don't have no real impact. Where there's other things that you can really be tangibly trying to do to change that we duck in. Like, you can cancel the baby all you want. It's still gonna be somebody that's son or daughter get killed by the police tomorrow. That's black.
Nah, that's a
It's
fact.
so important.
And then I'm gonna tell you real talk, man. Cancel culture is a mirage, though. It's not a real thing, bro.
It's just nothing real.
It's not real, man. It's no such thing as cancel culture. It's like a mirage, man. Hey, look, we on the baby this week. Next week is gonna be some other shit.
It's subjective. Still feel
don't matter, bro.
Because somebody else gonna say something or do something wild, especially in Florida. I don't know what's going on in Florida, but every week is something wild.
Hey, shout out to Florida man, yeah. Florida man always gonna come through with something, bro.
And so, I mean, it's just interesting how hip hop gets the blame for everything. Like, look at what we're talking about with the Lox versus Dipset. If it was another genre, it would be a celebration of two great groups. Kanika said it earlier. Hip hop.
But that just goes to the essence of hip hop, though,
and it's so competitive. Like, right? Like, you know, one thing that we got to figure out who them dudes was on stage with their shirt off. Whoever crew they was in, they need to lose points. Period. There was no women on the stage, bro.
I'm automatically putting them with the Dipset. They were losing points all night.
Nah, they look D blockers. They look real D blockers. They look like they look real. They look real. Like somebody just came home that was up that joint. Like, cuz, put your shirt on, get you a cocktail, go talk to one of these ladies out here.
Nah, I think that was Jim's security, man.
Yeah. Cause that
was Lox energy, bro.
Man, the whole time Jim kept telling his people get off the stage. You never really heard the Lox say, "Man, get off the stage." I think they had their Rough Rider, like a few Rough Riders. I seen some Rough Rider T-shirts, but I didn't really see a whole lot of people with the Lox. Even when they came out, if y'all seen in the beginning where they came out on stage and they came down the steps and they approached the stage, it was just three of them.
So hold on, stay right there, Kanika. I'm gonna be honest with you. You could tell how the show was gonna be how they came out. The Lox unified, stood together, walked down. Dipset came out.
There was nowhere to be found.
Down the steps, 2 bottles with the backwood in his hand. Yeah, first Jim had the all leather outfit on, man. He was looking Rick James just out there, man. You got to give my man some credit, man. I'm not letting y'all take points away from the crew, man.
Oh no, the swag was on 1,000, bro. They had the swag down perfect. The swag was killing them.
Oh man. Like, but that's the difference.
I didn't expect anything less from the Dipset as far as their dressing. I didn't expect anything less. I mean,
but you know, I'm gonna tell y'all who had the best recap of the verses, yeah. And he was there.
Fat Joe.
Fat Joe. God damn. Hey yo, I could listen to Fat Joe talk all day, bro. Like this nigga, bro.
Yeah, Fat Joe was about to run on stage, yeah. Fat Joe was about to really have a little mama.
That man was there when they played the New York joint. Yeah, I got 100. He said, "Oh," he said, "I wanted to
smoke." Yeah, Fat Joe. Yeah.
But sure. I think you just made a great point. Like, this is why we love him. It's a lifestyle. It's something you're a part of. I can't get away from it. I've been talking about this battle for a week and didn't even watch it until Saturday because I couldn't not say something.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you, this is how you know it impacted culture, nigga. I went to a party last night, right? Nigga, they were playing the verses in the background, bro. Like, on the TV had the verses though, son. Like, it was crazy, bro. Like, I'm literally at a party. The verses are playing in the background, music going on, whatever, but the verses are playing in the background, and all we talk about is the verses. This shit, like this, I'm like, dog, it controlled at pop. At that point, it's pop culture to us.
And I think this verses was so important because we've been listening to a lot of mediocre rappers, the new rappers.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Let's go, Kanika.
And actually, I wouldn't say mediocre because I'm not gonna lie. I do like some of the new rappers, but I think we really said, "Dad, we really missed the true essence of hip hop." Like, we've been listening to the new stuff for a while now, and the cadence is the same, the beats are the same, the flow is the same, and I like Migos. I like some of the new cats, but I think what we saw was like, Dad, it was kind of like a hunger that we had been thirsting for, or we just forgot how great that back in the day, like T-Pain was saying, if y'all watched him on Drink Champs, He was like, rappers were all different back in the day.
Yeah.
The ladies did not want people that sounded like the Baby, Lil Baby, and Migos. They wanted. That's why the Lox was different. X was different. Every crew was uniquely different, and we forgot about that because we in this new culture where everything sounds similar.
Yeah, nah, that and back in the day, to be honest, man, like if you were remotely similar to somebody, you wasn't gonna make it.
No,
Niggas weren't fucking with you. If you was a common copy of somebody, like nah, nigga. Remember Lil Zane?
Yeah, I used to have a crush on him. I used to really like him back.
But but the niggas was like, dog, he's the cookie cutter Lil Wayne. Like, dog, what are you doing, man? You can't be another. It's not another Lil. Stay in your lane, bro. We don't get out of here. If his name just would have been Zane, he probably would have been good. But when they put the
Lil Zane like Felipe Lopez.
Hey, shout out to Felipe Lopez. That's my guy too. I love Felipe Lopez back in the day.
That's a real Hooper reference.
Think about when No Limit came out and Cash Money came out. Two crews from the same state.
Totally different.
But totally different, right?
Yeah.
My husband, he's a huge fan of No Limit back in the day. But when you listen to No Limit old original music and you listen to Cash Money, it doesn't sound nothing like each other.
Nothing. But you can tell that from two parts of the city that were totally different.
Right. But what I'm saying is people gravitated to both crews because they had that New Orleans flavor and feel, but they weren't sounding anything alike. Like if you back that thing up, you're not gonna hear the same thing that you turn on, make you say, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't the same.
And then shout out to Juvenile for making a timeless classic, like Back That Ass Up. Because every time Back That Ass Up comes on, it shows your mama's age. And like your mother, all these mothers go crazy, son. I don't care, dog. Instantly, your mother turns back to 19, bro. Her ass starts shaking and all. If you are like 30 plus and Back That Ass Up comes on, your inner freak is coming out, son.
Yo, it's like you can't, like, that's the beauty of hip hop though. Like I think that's why the Lox versus Dipset is so great, because they're different. Yeah. So when you talk about winning, it's like, well, how do you gauge it? Like to me, this looked like the first, like they're different. Like from like look at the outfit and the dress. Like Styles and Sheik were dressed like they were ready to fight. Like Jada was the only one with jewels on. Like Jada knew Jada was dressed like he knew that I have to like pull a Giannis. Like I'm about to come out here, I got to drop 50.
He had to drop 50. He knew what he was going up against.
He knew what he was going to do. That's why he was so vocal. But when you look at the set, it kind of speaks towards their strength. Like they the type of dudes that are staying on stage, let the words play, just. But
they would have won, Hunter. They would have won if it would have been the format where you play just the audio and you sitting in the studio and they was in another part of New York and they was in another part of this.
That
would have been perfect for
that. That would have been perfect.
If you would have just said or some babyface shit, just hit play, right? You know what I mean? It would have been totally different because the music would have bumped so hard.
Yeah,
that people would have been. They would have been smoking in the studio. They would have been dancing. And it would have just been like that. And then we would have been listening to the Lox and we'd be like, oh, that's not as appealing or not as entertaining because
that's a great point. Because think about it.
But then that part right there, what you said, Kanika, like, yeah, if it was just in the studio and they were just playing the music, they would have won hands down. But the live performance, that's what killed them. And that's why I say they won the joint. They actually won that versus. Like I said, for that night, they won.
Back to your question though, E, about when you said, what do you think versus can do better? They gotta keep the live aspect to it. They cannot take that out the formula. And
can't go back.
They can't go backwards because people are reviving their careers through the live format. They got a tour coming out.
Yeah. Nigga, I've been listening to Lox all week now, yeah.
I was listening to Dipset, and Lox all day yesterday to the point where it was like, yo, I love both of these crews. Like I'm listening to shit that I forgot about. I mean, they're doing knock yourself out. I'm doing all of that. I'm giving them all of that. I was listening to some, Santana got some singles, bro. Like he got to get his shit together.
Yeah, he
has
do.
to get his
Santana.
shit together.
Yo,
He could have been one
I
of
was
the
mad. They
best.
didn't play Beamer. They didn't play Beamer, Benz, or Bentley, dog. They didn't play that joint though.
Santana could have been one of the best. He could have been
Young.
Lil Wayne. Santana could have been up there with Lil Wayne if he didn't get off track.
First of all, if Santana would have brought Wayne out, that shit would have been over.
Nigga, this had a rocket shit with Wayne too, though.
He has music. Jada might have a song or two with Wayne.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But nah, they got a rocket shit with Wayne though.
Like Wayne and it's like a group. They're about to be like a collective. So it's crazy because we're kind of going back to how Versuz can improve this. This is, I think, one area where they got to look at it at. When you have two crews from the same city and you do it in the same city, how are you going to move forward and have people from different cities?
Yeah, because it would have to be in a neutral place. Yeah, it got to be a neutral place.
Yeah. So like think about it, like Kanika saying, right? If they did that versus in DC, I would say that's more Dipset
culture,
hometown or arena than the Lox. But if you go up the road,
if you do it in Baltimore, it might be the Lox.
Road to Be-More might get the Lox. You see what I'm saying? You do it in Miami.
Versions of Be-More. They was comparing two versions of Be-More for the Lox in, I don't know, West Baltimore versus another part of Baltimore. I guess based upon how they dress or whatever. Yeah, but you're right.
That's a real thing.
So we got to look at that. That's what I think Versuz has to look at moving. Like, all right, it doesn't matter whether it's a solo artist or a group. Like how you gonna put them together in an arena and kind of have, because the crowd sways people like that New York crowd and how they was acting. They got people back into like, look, we need to do shows is back. Like, fuck the NFL and basketball games. People want to go see concerts and want to see their artists perform. You know what I'm saying? People was in that, like them New Yorkers was in that joint losing it. They was losing it in there.
Job of swaying the audience though.
Yeah, they did.
And the way he did a good job of swaying the audience is that in the very beginning, he made it very clear that they weren't rapping on instrumentals.
Mm-hmm.
He made it very clear that we in the Mecca of hip hop. So he had kind of psychologically played with their mind to make them believe that they was better in the very beginning by saying, y'all ain't rapping, y'all like, we in the, and I think that was very important too. See, Dipset didn't get up there and really talk their shit to the audience and make them believe that they was really that click. Jadakiss really got up there and said, what you doing? And I think that's important to the battle too, is being able to talk to the audience. We don't go to hip hop shows just for you to perform and you don't really like talk to us.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great point. But
and also what he did too when he with that was he off gate, he said, yo, he made it known these niggas can't out rap us. I don't give a fuck what you saying. They're not gonna out rap. It's kind of true. They're not. I mean, no, Cam is Cam, but
it's basically Cam versus Styles and Jada.
Yeah. And like Jim is my man. I love Jim. Don't get it twisted. I love Jim, but he's not out rapping Jada. He's not out rapping Jada.
He's not out rapping Styles either. He's not. Let's say something about Jim though.
But Jim, because I think Jim knows how to make songs though.
Jada said something on that stage. Hold on. Jada said something, right? And he was talking shit, but I don't think he understood. Of course, in the moment he wasn't thinking about it, but in hindsight, 2020, he was like, Jim, you just started rapping on this song. You just started rapping on this. Why is your man still relevant today? Because he been putting in work. He's hotter.
No. He's the dog. He's the prime example of dog, like putting in the work and getting better.
And that's beautiful from a hip hop standpoint. You either got it or you don't, talent wise. You know what I'm saying? You either got it. It's just like basketball. All right, Trevor was gonna be great when he was in elementary school. You know
but he worked at it.
Jim wasn't that. Jim worked at it every day. and he gets the validation from how people respond to his music. That's one of my points that I put towards a Chic, where he didn't do that. Where it's like, how do you say his crew is better because of what? Like, what? You can't say the Lox is better about anything because of Chic. So I think that's a weak point to them.
Nah, but dog, I don't think she give a fuck though. He don't care.
Yeah.
I don't think Chic is. I don't think Chic is a
Like
horrible.
or something. Give your man a little bit of hype.
Yeah, I don't think Chic is a horrible.
He's not.
Rapper.
He can rap.
I really.
Nah. She got some of the hardest verses on some of them albums. Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, Chic
got
is
some of the hardest verses.
his connectivity is different. That's the thing about hip hop. People connect differently based on different things. It could be a story, how you present yourself. For whatever reason, people, the distance, like it's a huge gap in between how people connect with Jada and Styles and Chic, and it's crazy weird.
But it's because of their solo. It's because of their solo efforts too. Jada had a solo career. Then Styles had a solo. He had solo hits too. Like I forgot about Locked Up.
Right.
Like I forgot about that joint.
Yeah.
I forgot all about Locked Up. I was
Yeah.
like, damn, he was on the remix of that joint. So I was like, damn, I got to give him that point. I got to give him that one.
I think Jadakiss and Styles were really good with features when they were on other people's stuff or a hot song. You know, I think Maybach Music. I think Jadakiss was on.
He was on. Yeah.
I think that was his thing, is that he could really do good on features. I just think he never had the commercial appeal and he never had the right production team. He never had
his biggest joints came when he had
that was,
career.
I think, part of the problem with their crew, especially on.
You gotta realize too that
Jay
wasn't two crews. They went from Bad Boy to Rough Riders. There's a lot of business aspect to the Lox situation that was jacked up.
That's something else to talk about.
Let's talk about that, because
like they played all them Bad Boy songs at the end. Those were the same songs y'all was shunning. Like y'all literally like tried to distance yourself from that music. Don't play that shit in the battle to try to win points now.
Oh no, we gotta play all that shit. Fuck that.
That shiny shoot shit. I can't even.
No. That's
my point. Like,
all about the Benjamins, Money, Power, Respect.
That's fine. Honey with Mariah Carey. Stop it.
Well, they said that they ain't had nothing for the ladies. They was trying to let Dipset know they had something with the ladies. And if you got a song with Mariah Carey, think about it. In history of hip hop, all the major rappers had a song with Mariah Carey.
And who did better? Who did better on the song, the rappers or Mariah Carey?
Not about that. We don't care about that.
we ain't caring about that. We caring about the actual idea that you had an opportunity to do a song with Mariah Carey.
It's a fact.
That's commercial shit that you ain't
first of all,
opportunity to get that level of presence.
First of all, you're not going to get a hip hop credit just because you do a song with Mariah. ODB does, because ODB did an ODB verse with Mariah.
Mace did. A bunch of
Mace did. ODB was like on his street wild drunk shit with me and Mariah. Go back. That shit was different. That's not the shiny suit shit that the Lox was. Doing rap with Mariah. No.
Hey.
He did a song with J-Lo and Mariah Carey. You was winning.
And then Jada got a drink with Mary too. So I ain't got a drink with Mary J. Blige too. So
I'll give him that one.
Those three right there. And look,
so hold on. Before we run out of time,
you got diversity right there. Diversity and inclusion. You got J-Lo from the Bronx, Mary from Yonkers, Mariah Carey, she biracial.
Come on. They cover all the ground, son.
Hold on. We mentioned something. Kanika mentioned the feature part. I think the Lox loses some steam because if you're in a battle with crews and you're playing crew music, how does a feature on other artists' songs qualify as a Lox song?
But there's no rules. That's why I say if they got to go with the rules, they use it to their advantage. There's no rules in it. That's like,
that's where I think, to go back to that question, the rules got to get tightened up. If you're going to put crew against crew, you can't have, but outside of crew music, the Lox did that more than the Dipset. The set was set shit.
I will say this: Jada did cheat. Jada cheated in the Fab joint too. The nigga played he played the Victory joint, yeah, with Busta Rhymes on the hook. The nigga Jada wrote the whole joint. He wrote the joint for Puff though, yeah. So he played that joint.
So you carry Busta just to get a cool point.
Well, he also admitted that on the verses that they, he wrote Diddy verse for Money, Power, and Respect.
Yeah, not for All About the Benjamins. Yeah, he wrote that joint.
All About the
Yeah.
Benjamins.
Everyone's that. So like
Diddy in the comments said that is true. He said, yes, that nigga did write my verse. He didn't deny it. I mean,
nigga, Jada wrote a record. He wrote a record.
First of all, that's why Diddy signed him and jerked him, pause, because all he needed was for the right for him for 7 years.
That's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother conversation.
I will give Dipset a point. The nigga Sheik even said it though. He's like, yo, when it came to like negotiating everything, that nigga Cam did all that shit. He's like, dog, Cam was the man when it came to that shit. Like he was breaking down the money or whatever. Cam did that, but Cam about his business anyway, dog. And if you go back and look at you go back and look at the Drink Champs interview with Cam, he was explaining because he got jerked out his first deal. So when he got the Rockefeller, he was like, dog, he knew what he wanted to do. He knew how to do everything. Yeah. So they thought Rockefeller was showing them nigga favoritism. Nah, Cam just had his business right there at that point. Yeah.
You see it on Bean. What Beans talk about it on his joint. He was like, you can't, because he was like, Cam was giving me game. Like, you need to do this. You need to, with state prop, you need to do this. You need to do that.
Yeah.
Like, keep in mind, the funny thing about the Lox and Dipset, Rivera, Biggie's man, signed Cam. Like, they locked in. They like cousins.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
If you go back and look at some of that old stuff, a lot of them they were intertwined. Like dog, Cam, Nori, Jada, all them niggas is like they all mixed together. Yeah, Nas, all them niggas mixed together. Yeah.
Hold up, Louis. How this is what's crazy to me. How does Jada get credit for playing band? Cam is on it.
I know. That was funny though. Hey, look. If I was Cam, I would have played Band for TV too and just did my verse, dog. I would just play Band for TV, did my verse, and that would have cashed that drain out and canceled it out, man.
And there was so many opportunities for them to do stuff like that. Like their tour is going to be crazy because they still got way more music.
No, then not to mention they got state property. People forget state property's on that tour too.
What?
Yeah. I'm going somewhere to that tour.
They're not coming to DC initially. They don't have they don't going in DC though. But I got stop in DC.
We gonna have to travel, bro.
They gonna add dates. This shit is gonna pick up steam week by week.
Yeah,
they gonna add dates. They'll be they gonna hit everywhere if they smart because they need to collect the bread.
It was very strategic to announce the tour. Very strategic. Strategic and very business minded to announce the tour. But the question is Dipset gonna be ready for the tour?
Absolutely.
I think they're gonna be ready for the tour. Yeah, they learned. They learned the lesson. Yeah, they got straightening, as Amigos would say. They got a little straightening. Yeah,
because now people are going to have expectations of them based upon all the stuff Jada said about them.
Yeah,
right. And the good part about them is that they can exceed what they did because the bar is so low. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look, they mind tricked you, man. They kept the bar low, so they gonna see that.
That's Cam, though. Like, look, I don't have to come out here act super cool. We about to hit 20 cities off this shit. I get the money in the back. It's just like y'all that got the Atlanta series. First game, I'll score 20, get 15 rebounds. I got a 50 and some 40-point games coming for y'all ass stuff. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, man. Hey, look. With that said, man, we wrap this thing up, man. Hey, thank y'all for joining us. Hey, Hunter, thank you for the promotion. You were funny as fuck.
I try.
Hey, look, nah, it was funny because I was like, I had to make a video. I was like, oh, this nigga's tripping, bro. Like, this nigga's crazy.
I was just like, what is going on? This man.
Hey, look, hey, because we in the group chat, right? So when he hit us up, like, this nigga, it was like 2:00 in the morning, this nigga talking about, yo, I think Dipset won. I was like, nigga, put the J down, dog. What are you talking about?
You had some revelation this week, bro. I was like, you know what? Once I started, I was on Friday. I said, you know what? Fuck that shit. I'm going off this weekend. They ain't lose. No.
No.
You ain't watching the day of the event.
Man, nah,
I was doing something.
Hey, look, when you posted the video, dog, nigga was commenting like, "Yo, what the fuck is this nigga talking about?" Dog, nigga was looking at you crazy, dog. Nigga crazy.
Hey, marketing and promo. This is great Dipset energy. Great Dipset energy. We here with it.
It's called delusional confidence, yeah. You have to have delusional confidence sometime, bro.
Hey, you need it, especially if you want to be successful. Oh my goodness.
This is true. Hey, with that said, Kanika, thank you for joining us, man. Hey, let them know where they can find you at, Kanika.
You can find me at kanikatover.com, and you can find me on all social media platforms at Kanika Tover, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. You know, I'm out here. You know, I'm like the Lox. I'm out here.
Hey.
Hey, Hunter, tell them where they can find you, man.
Hey, I'm cool, Hunter. Well, actually, I got a bunch of names right now. So my Facebook is my government name. His Facebook didn't kick me off times. Whenever you make the black fist on Facebook, now you're a threat or something. So I'm my government James C. Hunter III. That's my business. That's my government business name. On the gram, I have a new moniker. It's Chuck Fly. It's the same thing. It's still cool, Hunter. I just created a new name, man. You know, I feel like fits. I just created another alternate personality. There'll be some things coming with that, but whatever. Yeah, y'all gotta follow me on Twitter. I gotta get my Twitter up. Cool Hunter on Twitter. Twitter's wild.
Thanks.
Follow me on Twitter. Follow me.
Hey, whole time Kanika popping on Twitter though. People be popping like shit on Twitter, sir.
Yeah,
Kanika popping everywhere. Kanika's had
like 11,000 followers on Twitter. You know.
If
you want to learn some marketing,
ain't to that little slight workout there. Yeah, like 11,000. Yeah, man.
You want to learn some marketing tips from a real marketing expert. Holler at me, Cool Hunter.
Oh.
Hey! I can't fake. Kanika's helped our Fog Hill team out, so she's named dear to our hearts.
I did the Fog Hill logo and website.
Oh, shout out to
her.
Hey, for real. Hey, look.
Shout out to
hey, real talk. While we got you, I just want to give you your flowers, Kanika. I fuck with you, man. I'm a fan, and also you motivate me because I be like, dog, when Kanika be working, like shit, I ain't doing enough. Shit, I got to do some more shit. Fuck it.
I definitely appreciate it. We all in this together, so if y'all ever need anything, you know how to holler at me.
Oh no, that's a fact, man. It's always been love from us, man. Hey, with that being said, it's the OT show. I'm your host E. Thank y'all for joining us, man. Enjoy this beautiful. It's actually beautiful outside, so I'm going outside. I got the pink shorts on, son. So I have the tan dog. I'm out here, son.
Hey,
hey,
love y'all.